picture of it, you know, from your home, but Mom.
Was it? Jeez. Okay. That'll be no good. Sitting right in there.
Wolfman Gaming. How are you? Hi, His Imperial Savage. Welcome to Storytime. Hi, Wolfman Gaming. How are you? Hi, His Imperial Savage. So glad you all could join me tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How was your day? Okay, His Imperial Savage says, hey, I made it. Yes, I see. I see you made it. How was your day today, Wolfman? Hi, Wonders in the Wasteland. I'm so glad you made it tonight. So glad to see you. So glad to have you all here. I don't take your attendance lightly. Thank you, thank you. So glad you all are here. I'm gonna wait a couple of more minutes and see if some of the people who are my mods will show up tonight. So I'll give it a few more minutes. Wasteland, you're in for a treat tonight. Wolfman Gaming, how was your day today? Wonders in the Wasteland. This is your first time here tonight, right? In Storytime? Wolfman says, hey. You having a good night tonight, Wolfman? And His Imperial Savage, I think it's your first time here also, right? Wonders in the Wasteland says, hope everyone had an awesome, blessed day. I did. I really did. I did. It was any day that I have a day that's pain-free is an awesome day. And Wolfman says, no. Wolfman, they messing with you in, what's that you go in? That website? Twitch or something like that? They messing with you over there again? Okay, Wonders in the Wasteland says, yep, it's my first time. Wolfman, you says I'm not, so you're not having a good day? His Imperial Savage, this is your first time in the live also, right? Excuse me. Wanders in the Wasteland says, that's great to hear, Deborah. You are a warrior. Thank you, thank you. It's because people like you have me on your prayer team and on your prayer list, and you praying me through. You praying me through. And I appreciate that. Wolfman Gaming, what's going on? They messing with you over in Twitch again? Hello, Simply a Sweetheart. How are you? So glad that you were able to join me again tonight. Wonders in the Wasteland says, you know it, we serve a mighty God. Yes, we do. That is certainly the truth. Simply a Sweetheart says, great, how are you? I'm well, thanks for asking. I really am. I had a good day. I was telling Wonders in the Wasteland earlier that any day that I have that's a pain-free day, well, actually any day that I'm above ground breathing is a great day, but it's even better when I have a pain-free day. So that's a good thing. How about you, Simply a Sweetheart? How was your day? Wonders in the Wasteland says hi, Simply. So Wonders of the Wasteland is shouting you out, Simply. Simply says that's right. And she's throwing some love my way. I appreciate you all so much. So much. Wolfman Gaming says, no, it was the Zoe Magical Dark Empire with Star Wars. The one that she was in your chat. Okay, Zoe, all right. I subbed to her channel, and then she and I was dating for 1 week. Then she broke up with me. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that. You'll bounce back from it. You will bounce back from it. Simply Sweetheart says, hello, Wonders, Wolfman, and she called me then the N-word. Oh, man, she's being mean. So she's being a mean chick, huh? Huh, Wolfman? Simply a Sweetheart says, it's been a sluggish day, but as you said, any day pain-free and above ground is a good day. Yes, Simply, that is for sure. That is definitely for sure. I'm telling you. I'm going to give it about 2 or 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started because I do feel like everybody's time is equally important. We always want the masses, but we don't always get the masses. But I feel that anybody here, their time is just as valuable. So I try not to wait too long. I do try to give people time to transition because I know a lot of people are in other lives. In fact, I just came out of a live, 3 lives I was in at the same time, actually, that just ended. Okay, Wonders in the Wasteland says, sorry to hear that, Wolfman. Yeah, Wolfman, it'll be brighter days. Simply a Sweetheart says, yeah, caught you just in time. Yeah, so like I said, I was in 3 lives. I was in Chef and More, and then I was in 2 of the gamers lives. So I just finished there and came over here. Simply says, Wolfman, you didn't need her anyways. If she's calling you that, that's for sure. You don't need anybody that's just being disrespectful. That is for certain, Wolfman. Simply is right. We don't need anybody that is disrespectful and tries to devalue you. But oftentimes I find when people try to devalue you, it's because they it's something that they're feeling about themselves. You know, that they're not of value. Wolfman says, yeah, she's racist. Oh, okay. Well, look at it this way, Wolfman. At least you found it out fast than later during the long haul. You know, you said it was only 1 week, so it took her 1 week to show her true colors. So she actually did you a favor. Wonders in the Wasteland says amen to that, and says exactly, yeah, she did you a favor, Wolfman, because like I said, you could have been in it much longer, and you know, then it would have been even harder for you to bounce back from it. Wonders of the Wasteland says people treat others how they feel about themselves. projection. Yeah. That's usually what it is, you know. But at least he found it out early before he really attached himself. And look at her YouTube name, Wolfman. Maybe that's a sign. She's showing you Zoe's magical dark something or another. Wolfman Game is throwing some love my way. Yes. Thank you, Wolfman. I appreciate it. Well, it's 11 after, so I'm going to go ahead and Wonders is throwing some love back at you, Wolfman. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I appreciate you all being here. Welcome back to Deborah's Glad Tidings. I don't take anybody's time for granted or the fact that you thought I said something important enough that made you want to come and see me. You all weren't here before. Wolfman and Simply a Sweetheart have been here. And for those of you who haven't, I'm a published author and I wrote a book. During my story time, I will be in the future reading excerpts from my book during story time. But at the same time, I will continue with these little stories as well. And I'll probably alternate a day for one, a day for another one. And that's why I have all of these, even though I'm doing a story time, that's why I have all of these little stories listed as a prelude to story time. Because these are just little stories that I'm doing leading up to when I actually start reading excerpts from my book. And I wanted to use this time to give people time to order the book if they were interested. So by the time I did start reading from my book, they would have the book available and maybe could possibly follow along. So I don't know exactly when I'll be starting with my book, but it'll be sometime in the near future. The name of my book is My Struggle and Broken Pieces, A Healing for My Soul, and it's available on Amazon. And Wolfman Gaming says, I know. He has two little sad faces. In fact, if you excuse me 1 minute, let me get the book so you can see what it looks like. I'll be right back. It's over there on the table. Hi, Gigi from Gigi's Gluten Free Lab. How are you, sweetie? Gigi's shouting everybody out. This is my book. This is what it looks like. For those of you who are new to the stream, it's called My Struggle and Broken Pieces, A Healing for My Soul. And it is available at Amazon.com. if you're interested in purchasing it, so you'll have it by the time we start reading from there. Simply a Sweetheart is shouting out Gigi. And some people that were in the lives earlier actually was able to win a book because one night I had as you all know also, how I do the story, how I come up with the characters is really based on the flow of the story. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just where I feel like a name will fit in, I'll fit it in. Now, in the stories, I just take these little childhood stories that we have and I use YouTubers as the characters. Now, your name may appear, but not necessarily as a person. Your name may appear as a person, place, or a thing, so you'd have to listen carefully to see where you are. So you could be a person, place, or a thing. Okay, Simply is shouting out. Gigi Simply says, "Oh, I like that book cover." Thank you, Simply. Simply says, "What's the name again?" The name of the book is "My Struggle and Broken Pieces: A Healing for My Soul," and it's available at Amazon. And Wolfman is shouting out Gigi. So we had one night where there was 50 something characters in the story, and I asked everybody to guess a number, and everybody put a number in, and they had to, whoever got the number or came as closest to the number won a book. So we had 50 plus, I keep calling 50 cents, 50 plus won a book. Scratching Queen won a book. In fact, the night the Scratching Queen won a book was her first night in the live, and she happened to be one of the characters featured in the story. So she got a double treat that night. Vernus from Vernus Junk Closet won a book, and Wolfman Gaming, I decided to give him a book because he's been in story time every single night. He hadn't missed a night, and he's always like one of the first ones there. So that's what happened. And some people's names are used in more than one story. I may use your name in a story tonight, and if it flows right for me the next night, I'd use it again. So it just depends, but there's no rhyme or reason other than just how I think it flows with the movement of the story. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. Once upon a time, there were 4 children: Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB. They enjoyed bedtime because bedtime was story time. Amazing Grace told stories about Leonard Shea. Leonard Shea is a boy who decided never to grow up. He is an uncertain and troubled boy. He was playful, crafty, as well as authoritarian, stubborn, selfish, and simply passionate to inspire. But he was one smart cookie. Leonard Shea considered himself the father of the lost boys and led them to many adventures. Leonard is absolutely terrified at the idea of growing up someday, so he preferred living totally unconcerned by reality. One night, Amazing Grace woke to find Leonard Shea sitting in her bedroom on the floor. He lived in a faraway place called Wonders in the Wasteland, full of adventures and fun. The children loved to hear stories about Leonard Shea, and he would come flying in to play and hear the stories with them. Amazing Grace's parents, especially her father, expects her to behave like an adult and grow up. Therefore, she decides to escape away with Dewey, Kingdom Boy, Brad TVB, and Leonard Shea, to leave her parents to live an adventure. One night, Leonard Shea asked the children to go away with him to Wonders in the Wasteland. Fly back to Wonders in the Wasteland with me and my fairy friend Tinkerbell 83, Leonard Shea begged. You could be our mother and take care of me and my brothers. Amazing Grace was delighted to hear this. Let's see. Wake Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB, Leonard said. You can teach us all how to fly, and then we will leave for Wonders in the Wasteland. Leonard Shea agreed to teach them how to fly. All it takes is a wish, some pixie dust, and some practice. Leonard, Tinkerbell 83, and the darling children took flight as agreed that night. Soon they were flying around the room. Then swoosh, zoom, out the window they flew. Among Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TV flew behind Leonard Shea and Tinkerbell 83, following the golden arrows that pointed the way through the trees to wonders in the wasteland. Leonard's house was located at 5065 C.A. Street. Finally, they made their way to Wonders in the Wasteland to meet the Lost Boys. You see, the Lost Boys live with me and Tinkerbell 83, said Leonard. I'm their captain, Leonard said, and they are my playmates. There are 6 Lost Boys, he said, and called their names out of his head. Their names are Angsty Teen, Cheech 102, Pain Rain, Ace the Great, and the twins, Zed Tube and Zach Burton YouTuber. They all fell from their buggy when they were babies. That is why they were sent to stay in Wonders in the Wasteland. Leonard continued, best of all, there is Captain Hook and ships full of pirates. Pirates, said Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB, all in the same breath. Amazing Grace was frightened, but Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB were enlightened and wanted to see the pirates right away. Hook's the meanest pirate ever, Leonard Shea warned. But he's afraid of the crocodile Stark. The crocodile bit off Hook's hand and liked the taste so much that it follows him, hoping for more. Luckily for Hook, Stark swallowed a clock. It goes tick-mock and warns Hook when the Stark is nearby. Oh my, cried Amazing Grace, not sure what else to say, or if she really wanted to stay in Wonders in the Wasteland after all. Leonard Shea explained how he spent his time playing and defying Captain Hook, who was such a crook. Just like Leonard, the Lost Boys enjoyed defying the pirates and Captain Hook because they knew what it took to agitate him. Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB knew at first sight that they would love Wonders in the Wasteland. Once they arrived, Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB were fitted for their trees. They entered through a door hidden in an old tree stump. Hi, Erica McDuffie. How are you? Hi, Yvonne Stubbs. So glad that you all could join me. Wonders in the Wasteland was a wonderful place with a lot of wide open space for them to enjoy. There were fairies in treetops and mermaids in swamps. They liked Leonard's underground house with lots of hidden doorways in a hollow tree. It also had an indoor-outdoors garden, even though he didn't know how to garden, unless he used Wild Bill's lawn care. I guess nature just took its course. Amazing Grace and her brothers were introduced to the Lost Boys. When the Lost Boys saw Amazing Grace, they shouted, "Hooray! Will you be our mother?" "I'm only a little girl," she answered. "I have no experience." The Lost Boys looked so sad she felt she just had to do it. So she said, I'll do my best. That night, she was appointed keeper of the clan. Life was pleasant and grand in the cozy house under the woods. And Amazing Grace took care of the boys who explored wonders in the wasteland during the day. At night, they gathered for meals, played make-believe games, and listened while Amazing Grace told them the same stories over and over again. They were all excited, and she was delighted to share bedtime stories with them. But they spent very little time in the underground house because there was too many exciting things to do. Amazing Grace took her role as a mother to the lost boys very seriously and earnestly tried to make their house a home. Amazing Grace didn't see that Tinkerbell 83 was Leonard's companion. All she could see was a little fairy. Tinkerbell 83 had feelings for Leonard Shea, you see, so her jealousy got the best of her. Her anger towards Amazing Grace continued to grow. Tinkerbell 83 was impulsive and emotional, so she kept putting her feelings before reason. There were real red-faced Indians in a village on a cliff and woods full of wild animals. Sometimes they played war games with the Red Indians, who were their friends. Oftentimes they had problems with Captain Hook and his pirate clan too. One day, Leonard Shea and the children went exploring near the Mermaid's Lagoon. Suddenly, Leonard Shea yelled, "Pirates, take cover!" Their peaceful visit to the Mermaid's Lagoon had been interrupted really soon by the arrival of the pirates. The boys ran away, but Leonard Shea and Amazing Grace stayed and hid themselves. Leonard Shea and Amazing Grace could see that the pirates had tied up Tiger Lily, the Indian princess of the Indian tribe. The pirates had left her on a rock in the lagoon. Leonard Shea was afraid that Tiger Lily would drown soon the way they tied her up when the tides came in. He had to save her. In a voice that sounded just like Captain Hook's, he shouted, "Set her free!" "But Captain," the pirates yelled, "you ordered us to bring her here." "Let her go," Leonard Shea roared, still sounding like Hook. Hey, the pirate said, and set Tiger Lily free. She swam quickly to Leonard, and he carried her back to the Indian camp. Her father, the Indian chief, and everyone in the tribe were upset that she was gone, but Leonard Shea rescued her and returned her home safely. Leonard Shea's rescue of Tiger Lily had unexpected consequences. When Captain Hook found out what had happened, he sensed his nemesis had returned and had tricked his pirates. Hook became furious with Leonard Shea more than ever before, so he plotted his revenge. That night, Amazing Grace told the boys a story about 3 children who left their parents and flew to wonders in the wasteland, and how their parents missed them dearly. The children loved wonders in the wasteland, but they never forgot their home. Did they even go back? The lost boys asked. Oh, yes, Amazing Grace replied. They flew home to their parents and everyone was happy. The story made Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB homesick, so they decided to fly home the next morning. If you come back with us, Amazing Grace told the lost boys, I'm sure our mother and father would adopt you. Hooray! Shouted the boys, jumping with joy. Amazing Grace asked Leonard Shea if he and Tinkerbell 83 would come home with them too. But Leonard didn't want to live with grown-ups, where grown-ups could tell him what to do. Leonard Shea was sad that his friends were leaving, but he didn't want them to know he'd been grieving once they left. He wanted the children to arrive home safely, so he asked Tinkerbell 83 to guide them on their trip. Early the next morning, they started their journey, so Tinkerbell 83 and the children left the tree house under the woods. But Captain Hook's pirates were hiding nearby. Then he kidnapped all the children, tied them up, and marched them towards the pirate ship when Leonard wasn't around. Tinkerbell 83 managed to escape, thinking what great big mess this was, as she hurried back to tell Leonard what had happened. You all excuse me one quick minute. I gotta make a bathroom run right quick. I am so sorry. Hi, 50 plus. How are you? I'll be right back, guys. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm back. Oh, hi. Oh, wow, what a pleasant surprise. My niece joined us tonight. Hi, Aquanette, how are you? I'm so glad you missed most of the story, but I'm glad you came by to say hi. You all have to forgive me for that bathroom break. I've been Trying to stay hydrated because I have chemo tomorrow. So I've been trying to stay hydrated. So the bathroom's been calling me a lot. Okay, let's see. Where were we? Let's see where I left off at. Okay. I love you more, sweetie. So now here we have Leonard Shay speaking. It's Hook or me this time. Yeah, Leonard. Leaving Tinkerbell 83 behind as they flew hurriedly to save Amazing Grace and the others. On the pirate ship, Captain Hook demanded, "Who wants to become a pirate?" The boys shook their heads. So the ghost pirate, Captain Hook, decided to throw them off the edge of the ship. "Then make them walk the plank," Hook roared. The boys tried to look brave, but they were afraid for their lives. Amazing Grace was sure that Leonard would rescue them. Suddenly, they heard the tick-tock of the crocodile. Now it was Captain Hook's turn to be afraid. Remember, this was the croc who ate his arm. But the tick-tock was only Leonard playing games imitating the crocodile. He flew onto the deck and shouted, "I've got you now, Hook." Captain Hook jumped up and swung at Leonard Shay with his sword. Leonard was quick, they say, and stepped away as he slashed at Hook with his own sword until they came close to the edge of the ship. Leonard Shay lunged that way with his sword, and Hook fell into the sea, where the crocodile was waiting for him. And that was the end of the ghost pirate. This scared those bad pirates into jumping overboard and rowing away in the boat. Now they got the pirate ship. When Leonard Shay was certain that Hook was gone forever, he and Tinkerbell 83 set off together for London with Amazing Grace and the others. Amazing Grace decided where her true place was. Amazing Grace's telling of a bedtime story caused her, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TV to become homesick. Amazing Grace decided to go back home. A wish and a pinch of pixie dust they made the pirate ship fly alone. They all sailed on that ship through the sky to get back home. Their parents could hardly believe that their children had been to wonders in the wasteland. Amazing Grace's parents were happy to see their children again. Mr. and Mrs. Darling hugged Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB, and agreed to adopt the lost boys. They asked Leonard to stay with them also, but he went away after telling them, "I'm going to stay in Wonders in the Wasteland, where I belong and never have to grow up." Goodbye then, Leonard Shay. We'll miss you, and maybe someday we'll all meet again. Everyone called Leonard Shay, and Tinkerbell 83 waved goodbye and flew off into the sky to their home in Wonders in the Wasteland. Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB never forgot Leonard, even after they grew up. And that is the end of my story. Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate it. I hate for those of you who missed it. But I did want to start on time. We started about 10 after. But you can always go back to replay and catch the part you missed. Wonders in the Wasteland. First of all, I get excited anyhow about story time. I get excited, and whether I have one person there or 100, I get just as excited to share my stories. But I get especially excited when I see people actually come into story time who happen to be featured in the story that night. And so Wonders in the Wasteland, when I saw you all check in, I was just so excited because I knew that you were featured in the story. And you didn't know you were going to be featured in the story. So I get excited when someone shows up who was featured in the story. So I hope that you enjoyed being in the story. I felt your name was just appropriate because in the real story, it's what, Never Never Land or something like that. And I just felt like Wonders in the Wasteland was just so fitting for that spot. And I have Simply a Sweetheart who's back with me. She's been featured in a couple of stories. And like I said, your name will not always be a person. It'll be a person, place, or thing. And I know when she was featured in a story, her and 50 Plus were featured in the same story, and 50 Plus and his wife was. And I used Simply as a Sweetheart to describe how his wife was. That night, 50 and his wife were the king and queen in the story. And everyone loved his wife. So I said she was Simply a Sweetheart. So Simply a Sweetheart was used in that story, and there was another story I used her in. So her name was just describing a character. And your name tonight was used to describe the location. And then we have the other characters. And I'm going to just let you know some of them if you didn't recognize that they were. Amazing Grace is the main character. Dewey is and these are all YouTubers, these names that I'm calling. Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, Brad TVB, Leonard Shea, Smart Cookie, Simply Passionate to Inspire. They're all YouTubers names. Who else we got here? We have Tinkerbell 83. Again, Agassi Teen, Cheech 102, Payne Rain, Ace the Great, ZTube, and Zach Burton YouTuber. They're all YouTubers names. Then we have, let's see who else. We have Stark, that's a YouTuber's name. We have Wild Bill's Lawn Care, How to Garden, Indoor Outdoor Garden. Those are YouTubers. Then we have, let's see who else. Ghost Pirate, that's a YouTuber. Who else? So those are all the YouTubers. So all of those names that I called throughout the story were YouTubers, and we all know that Amazing Grace, Dewey, Kingdom Boy, and Brad TVB and Leonard Shea were the 5 main characters. But all of those other names were YouTube characters. Hi 50, how are you? I'm going to watch it to see what I missed. Okay, I appreciate that. I just appreciate the fact that you made it here. I was saying earlier, I understood because people were a little slow getting in because I was in, well, you and I both were in there together, as a matter of fact, 50 plus over in Chef and Moore's live tonight. So we were over in Chef and Moore, and at the same time, 50, that I was in Chef and Moore's live, I was in 2 other lives at the same time with a couple of gamers. So I was in there. But yeah, I appreciate the fact that you all are here. Like I said, I don't take a minute of your time for granted. And I was just so excited. Like I said, I get so excited when I see one of the YouTubers actually show up to story time and their name gets called at that time. And Wolfman, I hope you feel better. Wolfman's been riding with me all the way. He's been having a little problems going on. 50 plus. Did you make a playlist yet? I have 50 plus. I haven't put like a 20 together, but all of my stuff is separated by category. I do have playlists, but everything is by category. But I guess it would roll over from one to the next year. So yes, I do have playlists. I have that one playlist with my like stuff, which you don't have to worry about. But all of my other stuff, all of the story times is is grouped together. Then the gospel is grouped together. Humor is grouped together. The chemo and medical stuff is grouped together. So yeah, everything's in a playlist. I don't know if that's helpful or if it needs to be grouped together by 20 hours or whatever. I'm not sure. But yes, all of my stuff is in a playlist. Mm-hmm. Oh, hi, Shewana's Creative Circle. So glad you could join us. Unfortunately, you missed the story, but I always like seeing you here. How are you today? You said you were asleep. Well, sometimes that's what happens. Our body tells us we need the rest. You're feeling okay? $50 plus is shouting out Shewana's Creative Circle. Shewana, you feeling okay? Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're feeling okay. So you just needed a little rest. But I'm glad you stopped by. You know, Shewana, I still need that information from you about the diamond painting. When I watched your video, you with your friend Lisa, I think that was her name. I wanted to know, I wanted to be able to order some of that stuff. And I know briefly in your live you mentioned, I thought I heard you mention all in chat. Okay. Yeah, that was beautiful. That was some beautiful artwork you all were working with. So I think I want to try it out. I know you said it's a little more difficult than it looks, but I think I want to try it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to order it and see if I have the patience. See if I have the patience. Some of that stuff you have to have patience for, you know. And I think about those stones sometimes with that little gadget you had in your hand. Okay, I will involve. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Shewana. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I was looking at that little gadget you and Lisa was dapping those things with and having to pick them up. So I gotta try it out. I'm gonna try to get a small one and try it out first and see if I have the patience for it. But that was some beautiful artwork you all did with those diamonds. I gotta go in and look at some more of your crafts and stuff that you all have. And I shared that particular video, Shewana. I shared that particular video of you and Lisa doing that collab with the artwork. I shared that on my Facebook and stuff. because I just thought it was so interesting, the art. Gigi, maybe me and you can get together and do some. But it was just, I thought that was so, I had never heard of that before. I had never heard of it, diamond art, until I saw you and Lisa working on that little project. So I wanna give it a try. That's what I wanna do. I wanna give it a try. 50, you know you had, I don't know if you know, you had some dupes on that thing, but I just went through it anyhow, even though some things look like it was a dupe. But I don't know if that'll affect anything or not. But I just went through it anyways. Gigi, are you still there? Okay, I have. Oh, you do that for me, Shawana? That is so awesome. She says she has a small one that she could send it to me. Thank you so much. I would appreciate that. 50 says, yes, I'm trying to get the music out of it. Oh, okay. They were giving you grief about that? Oh, wow. Interesting. Then I might need to take some music out of my, I don't really use a lot of music, but I think I have some in my slideshow. So they give you, 50, they're really giving you grief about all of that? Even if it's like a live performance, they give you grief about that? You wanna know where to send it? Let me put my email in here, and then you could probably email me, then I could email you my address. Let's see. What's that email? Okay, she wanna just email me, and then I'll respond to your email with my information for you to mail it to me. So 50, about the music. So they give you a grief even if it's a live festival or something, because I was thinking about if I go to some type of festival or whatever to do some taping. So they'll give you grief about those too? Okay, I guess maybe 50 may have stepped away. Not really sure. But I'm not going to prolong the time. Again, I thank each and every one of you for stopping by tonight for story time. And maybe I'll see you again. There will not be story time. I just thought about it. I won't have story time tomorrow, but I will resume story time on Friday. I won't have it tomorrow because that's a chemo day, and it's a very, very long, exhausting day. I'm gonna be there, leaving my house like to get there, leaving like at 9:45, and I will be there, and I probably won't get back home until tomorrow about almost 8 o'clock, about 7:30, 7:45, something like that. So it's a very, very, very long, exhausting day So I'm not going to even kid myself into believing that I'll be up to doing story time. So we will not have story time, and as soon as we excuse me, as soon as we end the live tonight, I'm gonna go and do my little usual message to let people know who did not make it into story time tonight, and anybody else who was considering story time tomorrow, to let them know that we will not be having story time tomorrow, but I will have story time on Friday, unless something unforeseen happens. Because like last night, I intended to have story time, but I had 2 medical appointments in the same day, and by the time I got back from all of that, I was just so tired that I just couldn't do it. So that was kind of a last minute. I was trying to press, but it was kind of a last minute decision, which I think was a good decision, not to do story time last night. Hi, Ready Set Autism family, how are you? I'm so glad you stopped by for story time. Unfortunately, you missed the story tonight. I think you all were featured in story time on, what's the night? Wednesday? Tuesday? What's the night? Tonight is Wednesday. Tuesday. Monday. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you. I know you all are praying for me, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. But yes, Ready Set Autism family, you all were featured in Monday night's story. I think it was Monday night. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How about yourself? Yeah, you'll have to watch the replay. But yeah, you were featured in the story that night. But I still appreciate the fact that you stopped in to see us. I was just telling everybody, we will not have story time tomorrow night because I have to go to chemo, and that's a very long, exhausting day. So I'm not gonna have story time tomorrow. And I will go on and upload a video to tell people and to remind you all. But I will resume story time. Ready, Set Autism, we will pray for you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Each and every one of you who are praying for me. Thank you. I most definitely am drawing from your strength to keep me strong. But yeah, we won't have it tomorrow, but we will resume story time on Friday. So we will see who's featured in Friday's story. But I thank each and every one of you, and whoever I may have missed, whose name may have passed through the stream while I was reading, because most times I have to try to remind myself to look up. Also, if you came in at any time and you had not pushed that thumbs up button, please do so for me. I always forget to say that. I would appreciate it. I would most appreciate it if you would hit that thumbs up for me before you exit out of the live. But we will just see who is featured in our story for Friday. But again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Always remember, may his peace be with you until we meet again. And always remember, I have a will to live. I love you all, and good night.